And good morning. So thank you, Diane, for joining us today. Diane, what is your title at Brainfuse? Director of Marketing?
Director
Services?
of Outreach.
Director of Outreach, good.
Yeah.
So Diane is going to tell us how to market Brainfuse in our libraries, Brainfuse HelpNow in our libraries. So I will turn it over to you, Diane. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
I just saw a comment that someone had 4 cats, and I just have to comment because my parents have 8 cats. So yeah.
That is double the cats.
They have a whole collection. All right. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go through a couple different things this morning. The first thing I want to do is just a quick overview of the areas that are most used for Brainfuse HelpNow. And I'm not gonna touch on everything just because it's a lot, and I want to make sure that we have ample time to talk about marketing, because with it being back to school right now, it is such a good time to market to the parents and to the schools. So without further ado, let's see. So you should see the HelpNow homepage right now. And so I am logged in on the State of Library account. So everything that you see and everything that I talk about is exactly what is available at your local library. I always get questions where people are like, wait, I have that? So everything that we go over is available. So at the top, one of the first things here is the hours that there is live tutoring. So 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. We do have different holidays where the live tutoring is not available, and we put up this little notification, usually about 2 weeks in advance, just to let the public know that the tutoring is unavailable on that particular day. Although the live tutoring is not available, all of the other asynchronous tools are. The website is fully bilingual, so you can switch it over to Spanish and it translates everything. The other thing I always like to talk about before I get into more of the details is the background of our tutors. So our tutors all have a 4-year degree. We reference and background check everyone. We also have the tutors take a online assessment. It's a live assessment done online just to make sure that they have the subject matter knowledge of the subjects that they would like to tutor in. And then on top of all of the things that we do before we start working with a tutor, we also have live supervisors that are online during all of the live tutoring hours. So what our supervisors do is they keep an eye on the sessions. They make sure that, you know, if there's any technical difficulties, they can put a new tutor into a session. Sometimes a user might have a question in a particular subject, but it goes beyond what the tutor knows, because that happens. And what our supervisors can do then is they can put a new tutor into the session. So it just really helps streamline everything for the users. And it's a really great quality control measure for just making sure that the public gets the best help that they deserve. So I'm going to really focus on this first column here, expert help. This is the area where it's used most. Everything in this first column is used most frequently. It's where you get that personalized assistance. All the other tools are more supplemental, like the study tools. So I'll just go through super quick the study and the collaborate tool. With the study tools, the summer camp, that is actually going to be turned off at the end of the month, since schools are back in session or will be back in session. The summer camp is really just an area where the users can go in and they can just practice some different skills to help prevent the summer slide. It's more like fun activities versus like prescriptive homework help. The LEAP platform is a diagnostic testing center, and it's geared toward high school and adult learners. So in there, and I can actually click on it so you can see. In there, you'll see, did I not click? There we go. Oh, it's prompting me to log in. This is another thing. So some of the different areas will ask you to either log in or create a username and password. I'm going to show you how to sign up, just so you know. We don't require any personal information. It's simply a username, a password hint answer. So I always recommend that when you are creating an account on Brainfuse, you do something that you know you're going to remember. You can put it in a secure location. You can save it on your browser if you're on your own computer. Because we're not collecting personal information and we're not collecting email addresses or anything like that, we don't have a way to do an automated reset. What you would have to do is connect or call our tech department, call or email our tech department in order to get that password reset. But I made an account earlier, so I'm just going to, oops. It helps if I remember, see, this is why it helps if I remember my username and password. There we go. So this is what the LEAP portion looks like. And like I mentioned, it is geared towards high school and adult learners. So the courses are some of the standardized tests, college readiness skills, and it always starts with a practice test. And then from the result of that practice test, it builds a personalized learning plan where it gives different lessons, videos, practice tests, and the ability to connect with a live tutor. So that way you can just, you know exactly like the steps you can take to build skills in different areas where you may be lacking the skills. Flashbulb is virtual flashcards and study games. You can create your own flashcards, which is what I recommend, because you know that what you create is going to be related to whatever the test is. There is a whole database of like, I don't even know, probably millions of flashcards that have been created by the community. eParachute is a partnership that we have with the family of Richard Bowles. It is a self-assessment tool to help determine potential college majors and career paths. It's based off of the book, What Color is Your Parachute? It's one of my personal favorite things to do. I think it's fun. And it's really cool. You just go through these 4 steps, and at the end, it gives you 32 featured career ideas, and you can read so much more information about each of those different career paths. And then we have 2 items in Collaborate. So Meet is just using the Brainfuse classroom as a virtual study room. It's private, it's secure. All you would need to do to set up a Meet session is to have the email addresses of whomever you'd like to invite, and they will receive an email that has a link that takes them directly into the Meet classroom, and that's it. They won't be able to access anything else on Brainfuse. They'll just be able to get into that classroom. So it can be anyone. You can invite anyone that you know. It doesn't have to be someone in Iowa. Like for example, when I was in school, I'm not a math and science person at all. That's not my forte. I am definitely much more of a creative person, and I struggled when I was in high school chemistry. My aunt happened to be a chemistry teacher at a community college. So I would call her. She lived about like an hour and a half or so away, I would call her and have her help me with my homework. What I could do, had this been available back in the day, I could set up a meet with her, even though she is not in my library district or anything, and she would be able to enter that classroom with me. And then Brainwave is just using the Brainfuse classroom to take notes. We actually have a lot of teachers that use this tool. They can kind of like walk through the process. I think it's really great for math. I think everything's great for math personally, because like I said, I'm not a math person, but with Brainwave, it's recording everything that's going on the whiteboard. So you can walk through that process of how to do a math problem or how to, you know, figure out a chemistry formula, making it a little bit more visual and interactive. So those are all of the supplemental tools. Now we're going to switch over to the expert help column, which is really the core components of the HelpNow service. So by far the coolest thing, or I think it's the coolest thing, is the live tutoring. Not everyone can afford a tutor. It can definitely get expensive. But thanks to the state library, everyone in Iowa can access for free, which is phenomenal. Super easy to use. Just choose a grade level and subject from the dropdowns. So we do provide assistance for kindergarten all the way up through adult learners. College is basic college level, and then we do have FAFSA assistance as well. So I'm going to show you here. So let's say I'm on the young end, first grade. Math and reading are my subject options. Now I'm going to go up to, we'll do 5th grade. The list of subjects is a little bit more now: English, language arts, math, science, social studies, and writing. As I go even higher, we'll go up to 11th grade. It gets even more specific with the different courses. So trigonometry, geometry, biology, chemistry, and then like global and US history. College level, I just want to show you. These are not specialized college courses. We have a whole different program for college level. But these are really great, like community college or remedial assistance in the math, and science, and history. So there is a preferences option here. And if you click on that, there's 2 options. There's the ability to connect with a Spanish speaking tutor. We do have bilingual tutors for all of the subjects that we offer assistance in. And there's also the option to get tutoring with audio, which is done either via, what's it called? Like voice over internet, whatever, either via the computer, or there's a number that can call you or you can call in. So let me pull up, I have a little demo of just how the sorry, my headphone cut out there for a second. Just how the interaction takes place in the classroom. This is slightly outdated. We just recently updated the classroom. So the tools right now, you see them, they're across the bottom. And in the updated version, that all of these tools are actually over on the left side and across the top. Just little visual changes. And then we have added a calculator into the classroom, as well as a translation tool. With the translation tool, it actually, it's just an AI tool that translates into, I don't even know how many different languages. It's many, many, many different languages. So that way, if someone is more comfortable communicating in, let's say, French, they can type in French and work with a English speaking tutor, and it automatically translates it back and forth. Anytime the student or the user is working with a tutor, the tutor is going through the process of arriving at the answer. They are not going to be giving an answer. So you can see in this example, they're walking them through how to plot the lines on the chart. Okay, I'm going to go back over to the home page. And I'm going to go into the writing lab. This is another area that is used very frequently. It's for any type of writing. That's another question I get asked. Any type of writing, whether it's for an assignment, whether it's creative writing, whether it's I've had some of our clients, some of the librarians have actually used it to help get feedback on like things that they are writing for their newsletters or for marketing. It's really any type of writing. We do have a snippet of our privacy policy right here. Just letting everyone know that we do not disclose personal information, but that we recommend not sending any personal information in any documents that are sent in. The entire privacy policy is at the bottom here. And then there is the ability to upload your file. You can put your comments here, just anything that you want the writing tutor to know, whether it's typically what we see is what the assignment is or the purpose of the writing. You may want to ask the tutor to focus on, you know, like introductions and conclusions or verb tense or just anything that you struggle with. You can put into that comment box, click submit, and the feedback is by the next business day, which is really important to note. It's not instantaneous. So this is not a tool for people who procrastinate. It's not something that when I was in school, I would not have used this just because I would wait till the last minute to do my writing homework because it was easy for me. But it's a really great tool as long as you have the time to wait for the feedback. That being said, there is the ability to, in the classroom, I'll just pull up my little, in the classroom, you can share documents with your tutor. So you can drag and drop files to the whiteboard, you can attach files and work on writing in a live session. With live sessions, I feel like the best things to work on when it comes to writing are things like brainstorming, you know, working on an outline, maybe working on smaller parts of the paper. Whereas if you are in a live session and wanting to get feedback on your paper as a whole, sometimes that's it can get frustrating because the tutor is going to be, if you're not using audio, if you're just, you know, typing, the tutor's going to be reading your paper and not necessarily interacting. So it's hard to know without seeing, you know, you're not seeing them. So it's a little bit like you feel like you're waiting, if that makes sense. And I see a question here and I just wanted to address it real quick because it's about the tutoring in Spanish. And the Spanish tutoring is done by a bilingual tutor. So it is done by a person who is fluent in both English and Spanish. The translation tool is for all of the other languages. And that is an AI tool. And I'm sure there's other questions that I missed. I just happened to see that one. All of your questions, we'll make sure that there's time at the end so I can go through them. This is, well, wait, before I'm jumping ahead, before I show you the Writing Lab feedback, I want to show you how you can get to the message center, because there's a couple different ways. Right from the Writing Lab, there's a link here that you can click on that takes you to the message center. Now, at the top of the page in the menu, there's a little message icon, an email icon. When there is feedback, there will be an alert letting you know that you have a new message, a little red icon. And then also under the account dropdown, there's my message center. So we try and make it as easy as possible to find the feedback by using those visual cues. I think this one is probably the easiest because, like I mentioned earlier, we are not collecting email addresses. So you are not going to get an email notification letting you know that you have feedback. You would have to log into your account. If you do have the Brainfuse app, which is in both the iTunes and the Google Play, or not iTunes, App Store and the Google Play Store, you will get a notification to the app if you're logged in when you have feedback on your writing submission. So I hope that makes sense. You do have to have your Brainfuse account. You don't get email notifications, but if you do have the app and are logged in on it, you will get a notification on the app. Now I will show you Writing Lab feedback. So with the Writing Lab feedback, it's very comprehensive. All of our writing tutors have this form that they fill out. So the very first part, this first paragraph is the same on everything. It is what to expect while you're reading through the feedback. And then the tutors fill out this response form where they talk about all of the different aspects of writing. So they'll talk about the paper as a whole in the overview. They'll talk about the introduction and conclusion, the development, organization and style, grammar and mechanics. And then if there is a particular type of formatting needed, they will provide information on that, whether it's APA, MLA, and I think there might be another style. And then suggested resources. So all of that information is before you get to the actual paper. The goal of the Writing Lab is not to edit the paper. Our tutors do not make changes to anything that a student or a user has written. What they do is they give them all of that information that they need to improve their writing. So the goal is that all of that information in the feedback form above, along with the comments within the paper, is what the user is going to use in order to improve the writing. So this is what was sent in, and I just want to show this first comment here. It's referring to the sentence, a new word, super learner, may have an obvious connotative meaning, but this new word can be concretely defined and exampled as well. So what our tutor did is they highlighted exampled, and they said it's not the verb form of example. The Writing Lab is for any age of learner. I know this example that I showed you is definitely high school level. So when it comes to like the lower grade levels, our tutors adjust their feedback to make it appropriate for the age level of the user that sent it in. And that was a question from Brittany. So thanks for that one. I'll just continue scrolling just so you can see there's just a couple other comments throughout the paper. They're not pointing out every single error within the paper because that whole goal is to use that information that's given to them above, as well as the comments within the paper to make the changes. Okay, I'm going to minimize this, go back over to the home page, and I'm going to go to send question because this is another asynchronous tool that is for any type of academic question. It's laid out similarly to the writing lab. The big difference is you have to choose your grade level and subject, so it's routed to the appropriate pool of tutors. So let's say it's Labor Day, where the live tutoring is not available, and you have a math question. You can come in, choose your grade level, your subject, type your question in the box. If you have an image or documents, you can attach, click submit, and you'll get feedback. Now, the caveat with this is it is typically within one business day for the feedback. Generally, I can say it is generally faster, but if it's a holiday, you may not get the feedback as quickly as you need. And it all goes to the message center, the same area where the writing feedback is. Okay, so next up, the language lab. This I'm going to go through briefly. This is for anyone who is wanting to learn French or Spanish. We do have tutors who can teach those subjects. The hours for these languages, well, it's actually the same, so we don't have to worry about that. Some of our programs, the hours are different for the languages, but yours are the same as your general hours. Under the preferences, you can choose tutoring with audio, which I think is very beneficial for languages. And then we also have a vocabulary builder, which is really just focused on pronunciation in different words, like memorization. It's good when you're in like those early classes for different languages in school and you're just learning the basics. It's a good tool to help study for tests and things like that. It's not necessarily, it's not going to make you fluent. There's nothing with like conjunctions or, you know, grammar or anything like that. It's strictly words. And then featured service, right now, our featured service is chess tutoring, which is something that we launched. It's actually been a while that we launched the chess tutoring. It's just more of a fun kind of like brain game initiative, more fun learning, just improving like those critical thinking skills, where you can connect with a tutor, you can learn different strategies and things like that for playing chess. We also have online resources where we have just like the basics of chess and then different tactics and things like that. We also have the FAFSA help within the featured services page as well. All right, and the last thing I'm going to talk about before I switch over to marketing is Skill Surfer. Skill Surfer is incredibly extensive. it is where we have all of our practice tests. So all of the standardized tests, the core subject tests. We also have lessons and videos in here as well. So this is great for anyone who is, sorry, I had to adjust. I have my dog on my lap, I had to adjust. This is great for anyone who is wanting to build skills on different things, like maybe they're learning about adding fractions in school and they don't quite get it, but they don't have homework. They can come in and they can search for adding fractions. Whoops. Or maybe we'll just, whoops, I can't type this wording, sorry about that. Fractions, they can search for fractions, find different lessons and videos and things that would be helpful for them. They can also come in and choose like their grade level and look for topics that way. There is a lot of content in here. So I'm just gonna go through a couple. Well, I'll explain each category. Some of them are self-explanatory, but some of them I think are a little more obscure with the titles. So life skills is something new that we've been working on. Our curriculum team is adding to. So we do have the games of the mind information in here. So we have the chess in here, and then we also have mind benders, which is like logic puzzles and that kind of stuff. Super fun. I love logic puzzles. Also in the life skills, we have some practical skills such as time management, financial literacy, media literacy, home skills, and then some creative thinking skills. Then for the school level, we have it divided into lower elementary, which is kindergarten through 2nd grade, upper elementary, which is 3rd through 5th, middle school, which is 6th through 8th, and then high school, which is 9th through 12th. And in high school, that's where the different subjects really get broken down. Like we have the math broken down into pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, trigonometry, and pre-calc. Science, again, is broken down, social studies. We also have some standardized test prep in here where there's practice tests and the high school equivalency. So as a quick example, I'll go into Algebra 1. And one of the first things you typically see when you go into any of the subjects are practice tests. That's just a really great way to gauge your skills and determine what you might need to work on. And then we have some flashcards and then the lessons and videos. What's really cool with all of these Skill Surfer lessons and videos, not all of them, majority of them, is you can get extra help with a live person. So let's say I'm working on combining like terms. I read through everything. It seems like it's all making sense. I get to these practice questions and I'm like, I don't get it. What I can do is I can either do send question or I can click get live help and work with a live algebra tutor. And then there are also videos which walks through, I'm gonna mute. It walks through the process of that particular skill rather than just reading. As I mentioned, I'm not a math person, so I find the videos much more helpful for me. So it's really just trying to target different types of learners. When we get to college entrance preparation, we have PSAT, SAT, ACT, AP tests, the TOEFL, the TOEIC, the CLAP, FIA, and some nursing school entrance exams. When it comes to these preparation packs for standardized tests, it's taking information from the standardized test prep books and breaking it down. So it's smaller chunks, easier to digest. Those, like the standardized test prep books, can definitely be super overwhelming. So let's say I just want to know different tips to be successful on the ACT. I can come in and I can look at this, and pretty quickly I can realize, well, I can guess. Guessing is good because I don't have a penalty if I get it wrong. So we have each those types of preparation packs for the different standardized tests. As we know, the test prep books tend to get checked out or stolen, not returned. So it's another resource that you can direct your patrons to when they are wanting to do some test prep if you don't have books available. College Now is all about the college application process, applying, filling out application forms, doing your essays, that sort of stuff. College is those basic college level courses, lessons, videos, etc. Asvab is the practice tests and preparation packs for the Asvab, which, if you're not familiar with, that's the military test. Computers and technology is where we have some computer literacy skills in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, some computer programming languages, and then also Google tools. ELL is English language learner, where we're focused on the reading, writing, and grammar. Research and presentation skills, that one's pretty self-explanatory. There's lessons and videos. We have adult learner resources, where it's basic, intermediate, and advanced skills in reading, writing, math, and critical thinking. We also have the Asvab in here, the TABE in here, US citizenship test, nursing school practice test, and high school equivalency. So we do have things in multiple places just to make it easier for people to find what they're looking for. The very last section is the parent corner, which is in both English and Spanish. So these are articles and videos. Well, the videos are all just how to use Brainfuse. The articles are how parents can help their children with their academic skills, communicating with teachers, helping with homework, identifying learning disabilities, like building different academic skills. And then, although hopefully this is not needed anymore, we did have, or we do have, some advice for teaching from home and remote learning. But hopefully we will never need that again. So in SkillSurfer, there's the there's the Adult Learning Center resources, but we also do have a separate page for adult learners, just so you are aware. It's basically everything that's in the adult resources and SkillSurfer, just on its own separate page for adult learners to make it easy for them to find the help that they're looking for. I went through all of that really fast because I wanted to make sure that there's ample time for questions as well as talking about marketing. So before I switch to talking about marketing, I want to answer the questions while they're still fresh in everyone's head.
I think that sounds like a great idea. I have pulled a few of them.
Okay.
Does the Meet function allow you to share screens?
I believe so. That's a good question. I would have to schedule, or I'll ask tech because they will know. I'm going to write that down to ask tech because I'm not sure.
But a librarian could also just play with it and test it, right? Like invite your coworker and see what happens.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Are the samples of writing, feedback, and demo video of the whiteboard available for us to use if we go into schools and show? Or maybe you're going to cover that in the marketing part.
They're actually, you know what? I should put those in our resource center. They're not in the resource center right now, but I'm going to write that down. I will get those added to the resource
Okay.
center so that way you have them. But yeah, I'll get those added. So you will have those.
Okay, cool. And then I think the answer to this one is that they can do it at home, but the question is, can they log onto Brainfuse on their own computer, or do they have to use it at the library?
Yeah, it's available anywhere. You would need to, I think authentication for everyone is with, within the library, it's via IP address, I believe. And then outside of the library, it is with your library card.
Yes. Trish, I saw Trisha Frazier, who's one of our library resource technicians, on the call, so maybe she can weigh in on the chat if I get this wrong, but I believe as long as your patron has a library card with your library, they will be able to use that information to access Brainfuse. But Trisha, if you know the answer to that, please feel free to put it in the chat if I've gotten it wrong.
That's typically what it is. So.
The two languages you can learn are Spanish and
French.
French, okay. And then this one might also be coming in the marketing section. But as I explained to patrons and students how helpful this is for them, can they pop on and get help nearly instantly, or on a one-time basis, or randomly not on a schedule? And I think for most of the subjects outside of the writing, it's an instant feedback, right?
It is.
For the writing lab, takes 24 hours.
Yeah, if you're
24 business hours.
Yeah, if you're using the writing lab or send question, that's when it's not instantaneous. Those are the asynchronous. So you would get the feedback by the next business day. But with the tutoring, when you go in and you choose your grade level and subject and click Get Live Help, it will open up the classroom right away. There might be, a few seconds wait time. It's typically very minimal. I think our average wait time is like 20 seconds, something around that.
That's fabulous.
It's very low. There are some hours that are more peak where it might be a little bit longer of a wait time, but we do have, our tech team is phenomenal, and they have some like routing system that they've created to make sure that our staffing is appropriate for the demand.
Okay, one question for you, and then one question we might have to follow up on. But the first one is the chess tutoring, does it have a beginner level, or is that for more advanced answers?
It's all levels. So it can go start with the very basics, where you're just learning what each piece can do. That would be me too. My 9-year-old nephew was teaching me when I went to visit them. Like, wait, what can I do with this?
Oh. And then Phyllis has a question. Is Brainfuse available to our open access users or just our home library users? And Phyllis, I think that might be a question for someone on the state library staff. So I'm going to take note of it. And Phyllis, if you could type your last name into the chat, I'll make sure that someone gets back to you with an answer as well. Okay. All right. Thanks, Phyllis. And we will make sure we get that question answered at some point. And I don't have any other questions unless I've missed any. I don't think I have. If I have, please hop on to the Zoom and put them back in the chat. I'm struggling a little bit because Zoom is not letting me copy and paste, but we've got them all. So let's go on to marketing. I'm excited about this part.
Okay, so actually before I start talking about marketing, Sam, do you want to show how to get to the marketing page?
I want to show this. Let me grab my screen. Let me grab the screen share. I have about 1,000 browser tabs open, so I'm going to close some of those too.
Okay, I'm going to stop mine so you can.
Okay.
Because I'm going to talk a lot about the resources.
Good. Okay, so Diane is going to take us directly into this page and talk about how you can use it. But in case you only have access to, or in case you don't bookmark the link, or you're on a different computer or something, you can get to the page Diane's about to show you from the State Library homepage. go to the Libraries tab, which you should be familiar with, I imagine, and then there's our online resources and tools for libraries. So you can click that and click Brainfuse for Libraries. And then there's this marketing materials. So anything on this page, which Diane is going to show you, you can just grab, use, put on your social media or wherever else. But I'm going to turn it back over to Diane here to share a little bit more about the stuff on that page. But I did want to show you how to just walk there on yourself, by yourself.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk about the Help Now, obviously, because we'll talk about Job Now, Vet Now in the next session next week. But I'm going to go into Help Now. And this is all of the collateral. There's print, there's digital, and there's videos as well. So at the very top, the first thing, the link placement guide, which you probably or hopefully don't need that anymore, because hopefully you have your links up and in different sections on your website as appropriate. I know my coworker in our tech department has done a lot of outreach to all of the different libraries and given suggestions for, you know, where to place it. I believe he also sent some icons as well that can be used on your website.
And I just wanted to jump in to say this has been communicated as well, but for those libraries who host their websites with the State Library of Iowa, the library resource technicians for each district are in the process of adding them onto the websites as well. So you can contact your library resource technician for help with that one too.
Awesome, thank you. The user guide, this is just really great to know that you have access to. We have some of our clients print that out, and like if we have some clients who have like their dedicated homework computers, or they have their computer lab in the library and they print out the guide and just have it available there. But it's just how to use Brainfuse, all of the different tools that are available, press release template. It's a Word document that you can download. And then we get into like the more fun things where we have different print collateral. All of these are set up as PDFs. So I'm going to click on this one so you can see it is already customized for the library where it has the State Library of Iowa information on it, and you can download it, you can print it on your own. I do have it set up in 2 different formats on the same PDF, where if you are printing in-house, you would want to use the first format. If you are getting it printed by a company, the second format is the one typically that they require. So we have a couple different designs for the bookmarks where it's focusing on different areas or different things that we offer assistance in, just depending on what you want to promote to your community. And then the different designs are just, based on what people in your community may respond to. We try to update this. It's been a while since we've done any new items, new designs, but that is something that we're working on. And then we also do have a couple here. We have one for back to school, and then we have one for the summer skills camp. And we also have the bookmark in Spanish. Next, we have some different flyers. Hopefully we don't need to use the COVID slide one anymore, but it is still in the resource center. This one is the newest flyer, where it is, like I said, it's already customized with the Iowa information. There's posters, several different types of posters. There's half sheets. These are a little bit more detailed with the information that is available within the service. We do have one specific for adult learners as well. There's these different website graphics, again, different styles. There's some new ones that I need to add as well. I'm going to note that real quick. At the bottom, this is the social media graphics. So these are created on a monthly basis and sent via email. If you want to receive these via email and you are currently not, just put your email in the chat and I'll make sure that I get you added to the marketing list. It's specific for Iowa. And it's a social media post. I had a request to also make this banner size. So we do this banner size as well, which is 600 by 320. And then the social media ones are 180 by 180, which is ideal for Instagram and Facebook. So along with the graphic, we also include a post suggestion, just to kind of help you brainstorm, get started. You can use it exactly as it is. You would just like want to put your library name there. Or you can use it as a starting point to create something on your own. The whole goal, like we want to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to keep Brainfuse at the front of the community's mind. And the social media graphics is probably one of the easiest ways you can do that because it just takes a few minutes to get a post up. They are sent out, we send them about a month in advance. So when the September email goes out, which will be the first week in September, the graphics will be for October. So I'll just scroll down. You can see there's a ton of different ones, and they stay here. There is, we're updating the layout of this to make it a little bit easier, so you're not having to scroll down this like super long page. It's going to be categorized better. And then at the bottom, there are some different training videos. These can be used by staff. They can be used with your patrons. When you click on it, it opens up the YouTube page. And you can share them however works best for your community. There's no limitations on how you share them. Like if you want to link to them on your webpage, if you want to embed them, whatever works best for you. So that's just a quick overview of the things that you currently have available. Now I have a couple of things that I'm adding to the website because I was talking with Jean Strabel from Norwalk Easter Library, and she was telling me, and I was not aware of this, but she was telling me that in her area, and I don't know if this is throughout Iowa, but in her area, the students don't take flyers home with them. Everything is done in a digital backpack. And what she told me that she's done is she works with the school media specialist to help get the word out about Brainfuse to the school district. That's one of the best ways to spread the word, is any type of partnership that you can establish with the local school district is so key. So what I did, and these are going to get added to the resource center because I literally just finished them yesterday night, is these same flyers are now in this one and this one are in a digital format. So it's a smaller file size, which is better for email or putting into a digital backpack. And then the other thing that we are working on for the resource center is we're creating stickers. This is just a draft of one of them. They are going to be sized to be printed on Avery stickers, just to make it easy for in-house printing. And I can also have them sized for like sticker mule or, just like a specific like 2x2 inch size, whatever, for any of the ways you may want to get them printed. I know stickers are so popular with kids. My stepdaughter is 12 and she has a school Chromebook that she has like a little cover for that she just like plasters with stickers. So I just feel like that's a really good thing that we haven't been doing that would be fun and help the kids remember that, hey, they can get online homework help. So those are just like the basics. And when it comes to like different things that you can do, I have another idea that came from Jean at Norwalk Easter. She told me that they had a booth at the county fair, the local county fair. And she said they had stuff about Brainfuse there and it went so good and they reached so many people. So that's like, if you have the ability to get a booth at the local county fair, like that's a really good way to reach people that you may not reach. Cause I know that's probably the biggest stumbling block, like the hardest thing to get past is how do you reach the people who are not coming into the library? How do you reach the people who are not following the library on social media? So that's I thought that was such a good idea. And to hear that she had such great success with it was so cool. My local public library has a booth at our county fair as well. And, you know, it's one of those things that you might already be doing, but it's just another idea to toss out there. In addition to like booths at fairs, or you can also see if you could set up a table, like here, our library has done, we have farmers markets where our library has a table. We have craft fairs. We have, I had another client who told me that they had a table at the grocery store, like at the doors, the entrance at the grocery store, just anywhere where you can get out in the community and just let them know about the information that you offer, the tools that you offer, is really key. Establishing a relationship with the PTA, if you don't already have one, is another great way to help get the word out to the schools. Like schools are going to be the biggest, best partner for HelpNow. Just any way you can talk to people at the schools is ideal. And then for like within the library, we had talked about the practice tests in Skill Surfer and just connecting those physical items in the library with the virtual on Brainfuse is another way to help promote. Like you can have a sign up at the area of your library where you have the test prep books saying that it's also available on Brainfuse. That way, if they don't, like if the books are already checked out, they have another option to go to. Working with local news outlets, local newspapers, local elected officials are phenomenal to work with. You can invite them in for a tour of the library and show them all the amazing things that you're doing. And then another idea is signs at local coffee shops, at grocery stores, at local restaurants, just anything that gets it out in the public, for those who are not coming into the library. And then this one is kind of out there, but it's something that my local library does that I think works so well. They worked with the company that does all the billboards in the area. They managed to get a really great deal, and they rent billboards. So they just change up their billboards I don't even know how frequently, but they change them up, but they highlight different things. And it's just another, like, I always notice them. People always notice billboards, I think. So yeah, those are just some different ideas. And I see there's a ton of comments in the chat. Yes, we are out of time.
Yes, I just stuck that in there. I want to quick highlight a couple things. The first thing is that we had one librarian mention that she connected with the homeschool group, which I think is another great way to promote this. Those are probably people who are likely using your library pretty well already, but a great resource to offer them. Tons of people wanting to get on the marketing list, so we'll offer folks one last chance to drop your email in the chat. Diane, I will save the chat or get a copy of the chat after we're done today, and so make sure that folks can do that. If you are watching the recording of this, do you have contact information? Should someone get in touch with you directly?
Yes, I'll put my email in here.
Okay.
Will they be able to see the chat?
The recording will not have access to the chat,
Okay.
but we can make sure that it gets maybe saved in a resource list or something like that. But
Okay.
email Diane if you have questions about to get on the marketing list. And then two last little questions before we officially let folks go. One librarian says they have, for the hours on their live tutoring, 2:00 p.m. to 11 p.m. On your header, it said 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Can you confirm the time?
I will have to double check because I'm not sure. I will double check and let you know.
All right, we will make sure that that information gets put out to everyone. And then I had to step away for just a moment, or I might have gotten distracted with something. The digital backpack, all of that is on that marketing page, right?
I have not. I just finished them yesterday, so I have not put them in yet. They will be up. Probably not today, just because I'm like slammed with meetings today. But they will be up and added. I'll do a new section called digital flyers or digital, whatever, and they will be put in there along with the video, the sample video, the sample writing lab feedback. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So watch that Brainfuse marketing page. Everything, it will just be added right there.
Yep.
Super. Yep. Yeah, I know a lot of folks are, a lot of districts are starting to do that digital backpack as well. So when we send out the email, or what I will likely do is send an email to everyone who attended today with answers to the questions about open access, which we fielded, and the confirming the hours for live tutoring. So I want to let folks know about that. If you're watching the recording and you have outstanding questions on those items, please feel free to get in touch with State Library staff, and we'll do our best to answer questions down the road as well. We are here to help. So, and a direct link to the marketing page. Yes, I've got that.
You got it? Okay.
I do. And then, everyone, here we go. All right. So thank you everyone for coming today. A huge thanks to Diane for taking time out of a busy day to be with us. I hope you guys got some good ideas for marketing Brainfuse. I think the key takeaway is that link, which they've prepared specifically for Iowa. So a huge resource to your patrons, whether they're in the library or at home. Lots of options for getting this stuff in front of them. Again, you can get to that marketing page on the State Library's online resources page, and then click Brainfuse, and then along the right hand side you will find that marketing Brainfuse link. So thank you, Diane. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you at the Help Now webinar. Is that right, Diane?
Job Now, Vet Now.
Job Now, Vet Now. This is Help Now, of course.
This is Help Now, yeah.
We'll be doing Job Now, Vet Now at the end of the month. So do feel free to find that one in Iowa Learns and hopefully come to that one as well. So thanks again. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.